Recruiting time with Otis Kirk, our recruiting insider. And Otis, let's talk about Michael LUNZ. You had an opportunity here recently to talk with him. Just got an offer from Arkansas, 3-star, right?
Yeah, he got offered Wednesday, and he's coming in this Saturday for a visit to see Arkansas, check it out. He's got an offer to Cincinnati. He's got about 6 offers in all. Good linebacker, got a 3.7 grade point, 23 ACT, 6'3", 230. Went to a combine and was named the MVP, linebacker, the most valuable player at linebacker at that combine recently. So, I mean, this is a kid that's Arkansas's Coach Rhodes has really jumped on him, and you know, he's coming in for a visit. He likes the fact this was his first Power 5 offer, and it's an SEC school.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, schools are showing him love by offering him a scholarship, and those are the schools that he wants to visit because, you know, I mean, he's not interested in just taking visits to see schools that's not going to, or haven't offered him or not going to offer him. He prefers to, when a school offers him, take a visit. So, you know, big linebacker, they're really recruiting linebackers, and it shows. You know, so one thing I will say about this group, the kids we're going to talk about today, they were 61-6 last fall. Drew. That was the team combined record of their team, 61-6, and one kid was in 3 of those losses. So, so I mean, they're recruiting some winners, is what I'm saying, and these are kids that are coming from winning programs. You know, when you think about it, that probably you instill that winning in them, you know, and they get to college, they don't want to find a way to lose, they want to find a way to win, you know. So, but this is a group here that certainly did that last fall.
So certainly when they see how much this program has been losing recently, it drives them more and more knowing where they're coming from if they in fact commit to Arkansas. We'll see. Let's talk more about this group. You talked about the wide receiver a little earlier, KETRON Jackson, out of Royce City, and he has an offer as well, right?
Oh yeah, he's got offers to Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, you name it, A&M, Texas, or TCU, Nebraska, LSU. I mean, he can go about anywhere he wants to go. He's a kid. He's 4-star. He's 6'2", 185. He caught 61 passes for 889 yards and 6 touchdowns. Yeah, he's just, and he's the kid that was involved. His team was 9-3, and that was, so he was involved in half of those losses. But 9-3 is a good record. But he's got a lot of talent. Obviously, with the schools offering him, he's going to come in. Coach Stepp's done a very good job recruiting him. We talked about him last fall. You know, I mean, Stepp was recruiting him then when it saw him play, and so this is a player that they only signed 1 wide receiver this year, so they'll probably sign 2 or 3 next year. And he's one that definitely they'd love to sign them, and Alabama, Auburn, the whole, basically the whole SEC would love to sign this kid and some Big 12 schools. So, you know, he's big time.
A lot of people competing to get KETRON Jackson. JERMAINE Hamilton Jordan, linebacker out of Kansas City, Lincoln College Prep.
Yeah, he's kid. He had 150 tackles, you know, 18 of them for loss, 5 sacks. Played on a really good team up there. He's got an offer to Arkansas. He's got offers to Kansas State, Iowa State, you know, Kansas, Tulsa. So he's got some offers too. He's not very big. He's like 6'1", maybe 200, somewhere in that range. But he can really run. He's smart, and really is a physical player. And again, Coach Rhodes and those guys have found him. They thought enough of him to offer him a scholarship. He's coming in for a visit this weekend, and I think Arkansas's got a chance at him. I really do. I think they've got a chance at all these kids, but I mean, he's a kid that Arkansas jumped on, got him, you know, got an offer out to him. He doesn't live that far from here. It's good to see that they're kind of hitting that Kansas City area because Kansas City and St. Louis, those are really short drives. Kansas City is a really sweet drive to Fayetteville, and it's, you know, it makes a lot of sense to recruit that area, Drew, because it's just there's a lot of talent up there, and the thing about Kansas City, I've noticed those kids are kind of wide open. I mean, they're not locked into Missouri, Kansas, Kansas State. They're a lot of them have open minds, you know, and so the ones that do, you can get in on them and get you some players. Arkansas signed some players in the past from Kansas City that they've had some good success up there.
SILAS BARR, and he's a defensive end. We're going to talk about Pottsboro, Texas. What kind of defensive end would Arkansas potentially get here? We've talked about this position in particular a lot here of late.
Well, he fits what they're looking for in the sense that he's 6'5", and it's about 240. So with the 6'5" frame, you can bring him in here and put a lot of weight on him. You can get him big as you want him because it's 6'5", he can carry the weight. So, you know, Arkansas is, he came to a game last year. He was at the Colorado State game last year at Arkansas. He's been up here on unofficial visits before, so he's seen Arkansas. So this is going to be another chance for him to come in here and get the biggest thing about this visit, since he's been here, he's going to get to meet the new staff and let them get to know him. And so he played on a very good team down there at Pottsboro. He had 106 tackles himself. And so, you know, 5.5 sacks, 9 tackles for losses. And he's just he's a kid that's kind of flying under the radar right now, but he's not going too much longer, because the thing about him is when schools start offering him, then everybody's going to jump in the boat, you know, and try to get in there and get a visit and maybe offer him. But he's versatile enough that if it didn't work out at defensive end, he could probably play tight end for you. I mean, he's big and got the size. You know, I like his film. I just like the way the kid got a really good attitude. You know, like I say, of the kids we're talking about so far, he's probably the one that's flying under the radar the most. But playing for a good team down in Texas, I think they were 13-1, maybe 14-1 this year. He's another player that's got 3.5 grade point and a 24 ACT. So not only we're talking about winners, you know, on here today, we're talking about kids it's taken care of it in the classroom too. And that's important. I mean, because if you don't have you can run a 4.2 or 4.3, but if you don't have that 3-point or 2.5 or, you know, 20 ACT or something, you know, you're probably not going to get into college. So, I mean, you've got to take care. But these kids are winning on the field and taking care of the work in the classroom, and I like that about them.
Good balance. All right, let's go to, speaking of winning programs, Bryant. Trio I want to talk about. Kicker, Brock Funk. DBs, Kyle Knox, Caleb Knox.
Yeah, there's twins. I tell you what, I saw Bryant play over here against Fayetteville this year, and talking about winners, they were 13-0. They won the Class 7A state championship 2 years in a row. Yeah, when you talk about winners, you're talking about Bryant. I mean, you know, their coach has done a great job instilling that in those kids down there, and all three of these kids are still early in the recruiting process. All the kids we talked about there are 2021 kids, but and they'll be here Saturday. But right now they're flying on the radar, but you know, and haven't started getting the offers that they will. But they got exposure last year. College coaches coming and watching, you know, the KETRON Wallace and the other kids play over at Bryant, and so you'll see the more schools start looking hard at these. And it's good that Arkansas is bringing them up for a visit this weekend, letting them see, and you never know. I mean, you know, but I like those kids. They're winners, and that's the biggest thing. You know, they come from a winning program, but they're winners, and they play hard, and they play well.
One final thing, Junior Day coming up on Saturday. Give me an insight in terms of, okay, what's that day like, and what's it like for a recruiting insider?
Well, you know, it's I just try to make sure I catch the kids before they get away, you know, when they get away from U of A far enough that you can legally contact them. Right. But, yeah, they go in there, they get to, this will be the second one. Yeah. Sam had one on February the 1st. They'll come in and they'll get to talk to the position coach. They'll get to get their pictures made with the Razorback jersey and all that. They'll get Sam will talk to them at the end, but they also get about nutrition, academics, the weight training.
All encompassing.
Yeah, they get kind of an oversight of the program. In a few hours they have them, you can't really do a lot of things, but what they try to do, they try to hit the key points with these kids. And then, you know, obviously, and then try to get them back to a camp, try to get them to an unofficial visit, official visits, you know. You want to get their interest here, and then you bring them back for official visits. Some of them that's got offers, and you'd want those kids to come back for official visits. The ones that don't have offers, you might, you know, be nice to get them to camp and see them, and, you know, and that's how some of these kids get offers by coming to camp. You know, not everybody has 10 or 15 offers right now, you know. Some kids have to come to camp. And, you know, we talked about some of the other kids. You got Mason and Brotherton. A bunch of them will be here next weekend.
Tight end, Mason Brotherton.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good weekend. The thing I like about this one, Drew, opposed to the one on February 1st, Sam had official visitors here that weekend, and it was kind of getting pulled at from both directions, you know. Don't know if the kids got the attention maybe that they would like to have given them, and so, but that won't be an issue this week. They'll get to see the coaches, meet them. I think it'll be a lot better junior day this Saturday than the one previous. Not that it was bad, but I'm just saying you can only spread yourself so thin. And you know, they had that dead period that came up on February, so they had to do that. It's nothing that other schools weren't doing it too. They were doing the same thing. And you know, you've got official visitors on campus. You just have to kind of pick your time to be with each. But now they can give the recruits their undivided attention this week. There won't be any spring ball. Nothing. They can talk to the recruits, and so I think it'll be a good junior day this weekend.
They've already had one, so it's kind of nice for the staff too to kind of tweak some things because you had the one already in February.
And that's it. I think I think they're doing that, and I think maybe Barry Odom might go to Sam and say, hey, this is something we did at Missouri that worked, or Coach Rhodes, something we did at Hutchinson. I mean, everybody's got ideas. Coach Cooper and all those guys have got ideas on how to do things, and I think Sam will be open, and I just think being able to devote your attention to one thing, I think it always helps. It's just like, it's just like our job, if you're trying to mix 2 or 3 sports here at the same time, it gets hectic, so yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yep. March 16th, day 1 of spring ball. I know you're going to be on the hop working hard that day, and you got a lot going on as far as the month of March is concerned. So
it's busy. It's
Hogville.net. Hogville.net. That's where you can find Otis Kirk, his workforce as far as covering Razorback football. There's your Big Trail Nation recruiting report.